Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to start a habit that just wouldn't stick? Maybe a gym routine, a diet, or even flossing? We've all been there. And for many of us, reading the Bible feels the same way. We start strong, then life happens. Guilt piles up. Eventually we quit. But what if I told you the problem isn't you? It's the approach. Today we're going to rethink Bible reading, not as a chore, but as a conversation, a lifeline, maybe even an adventure. Why we give up? We often abandon Bible reading not because we're lazy or unfaithful, but because we're fighting invisible battles we don't even realize are there. Here's the deeper why behind the struggle. Number one, we confuse sacred with stiff. We treat the Bible like a museum artifact, something ancient, fragile, and meant to be admired from a distance. We tiptoe around it, afraid to get it wrong. But the Bible isn't a glass sculpture. It's a living conversation. Imagine texting a friend, but obsessing over every punctuation mark. You'd never hit send. Yet we approach Scripture with the same paralyzing perfectionism, forgetting God speaks through messy, honest engagement. Number two, we expect a microwave meal, not a feast. We live in a world of instant downloads and 30-second reels, so when we open the Bible, we subconsciously expect quick answers, dramatic revelations, or emotional highs. When that doesn't happen, we assume it's not working. The truth is, Scripture is a slow-cooked meal. Its deepest nourishment comes from simmering in it over time. A single verse might feel underwhelming today, but become a lifeline years later. Number three, we forget. It's a mirror, not a magic 8-ball. We often search the Bible for direction. What job should I take? Or comfort? Make my anxiety disappear. But the Bible isn't a fortune cookie or a band-aid. It's a mirror. It reflects who we are, who God is, and how to bridge the gap. When we don't get answers, we feel cheated. But what if the goal isn't to use the Bible, but to let it reshape us? Number four, we fear the gap. Deep down, we're afraid Scripture will expose our flaws, doubts, or messy lives, so we avoid it to avoid discomfort. It's like refusing to check your bank account because you're scared of the balance. Truth is, the Bible knows we're a mess. That's why it's full of cheaters, doubters, and misfits who God loved anyway. The gap is where grace lives. Number five, we mistake mastery for relationship. We treat Bible reading like a college course. If I study hard enough, I'll graduate to being a good Christian. But faith isn't about mastering content, it's about knowing a person. You don't read your spouse's love letters to memorize them. You read them to hear their heart. The Bible isn't a textbook, it's a love letter, but the shift that changes everything. Giving up isn't a failure, it's a signpost. It's telling us to pivot from I have to conquer this book to I get to meet its author. Try this. Next time you open the Bible, pray, God, show me one thing about you or me today. I'm here to listen, not perform. The game plan. Step 1. Start smaller than a mustard seed. Jesus said faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. So why do we think we need Bible marathon sessions? Start with 5 minutes, one verse, one story. Even Jesus took breaks. He napped in boats. Small steps build unshakable habits. Step 2. Hack your habits. Your brain loves patterns. So piggyback on what's already working. Morning coffee, read one psalm, commute, try the Bible app's audio feature, waiting in line, swap doom scrolling for a verse. Step 3, choose your own adventure. The Bible isn't a monolith, it's a feast, craving hope. Try Psalms, need life advice, dive into Proverbs, curious about Jesus, start with John. And give yourself permission to skip Leviticus. Seriously, even scholars get stuck there. Step 4, bring a friend. Faith grows best in community. Text a friend. Want to read one chapter a week together? Join a church group? Or follow a Bible plan with millions online? You'll be amazed how accountability feels like friendship, not pressure. When you stumble, you'll miss days. That's okay. The Bible isn't a rule book, it's a love letter. Imagine if your spouse said, "You forgot our anniversary, never speak to me again." Ridiculous, right? God's grace is bigger. Every morning is a clean slate. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Closing and call to action. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, give God just 5 minutes. Not to earn His love, but to receive it. Hit subscribe and I'll send you this free plan in the description. And if you miss a day, celebrate the days you did show up. Your journey starts now. And trust me, He's been waiting for you.